Hi, my name is Lisa Soltis, and welcome to BizRoanoke. Today we are with David Bowers. David is the mayor of the city of Roanoke. Hello, nice to see you, Mayor.
Hi, how are you, Lisa?
Thanks for being with us today.
Delighted, and what a wonderful trip we had with the delegation to Gwangju, Korea in September.
We did, and so today we want to talk about that trip. So that was a Roanoke Valley Sister Cities initiative, a trip representing that organization. So can you tell us a little bit about the trip and where all we went?
You know, it's important for mayors to make sure that the potholes are filled and that the police respond and the schools are open and all those important governmental functions. But it's also important for us to reach out and learn from other communities around the world and other peoples around the world. And we've had this fantastic relationship, a sister city relationship with Gwangju, Korea and Roanoke for 50 years. They've exchanged with us cultural and educational activities over the years. This was our opportunity to go visit them. Their mayor came to visit us last year with a delegation from Gwangju to celebrate this 50th anniversary. And so I was fortunate to lead the delegation from Roanoke in September of this year to Gwangju. It gave us an opportunity to visit with those friends that we've developed over the years, to see their culture, to see the tremendous amount of progress and development in Korea as well. In addition, there was a business component to this. As you know, we've been talking with a business prospect, and it's important for the business people of South Korea and Asia to know where Roanoke is. Roanoke's sometimes not on their map. And they might think we're at the Great Lakes or something. So it's important for them to know a little more about Roanoke and for us to invite them, hopefully, to come and do business with us here in Roanoke.
Tell us about some of the similarities between Gwangju and the city of Roanoke, or the Roanoke region.
Well, it is a great democracy. I don't know a lot about the history of South Korea, but today it is a great democracy. Their federal government, their provinces or states, and the city of Gwangju. I was there 19 years ago, and I can tell you that one of the different aspects is the tremendous growth and progress of South Korea. Much of South Korea that we saw looks like Northern Virginia. High-rises everywhere, super highways, fast trains, airports that put ours to shame, international airports. So it's a tremendously progressive economy. And the other thing is the people look so healthy. You know, we keep trying to emphasize to the American people, it's important for us to have a good diet and exercise. They got the message in South Korea, and the folks, as you remember, are a healthy group of people.
Right. They were indeed. And the topography, I thought, was very similar to Roanoke.
Indeed. In fact, let me share with you my most favorite picture. You know, we took hundreds of pictures when we were there with you and with Cinda Johnson from the medical school, N.L. Bishop, and representatives from the sister cities. But this was my favorite photograph of all, because I took this photograph halfway around the world, and yet it looks like Roanoke.
It looks like you're on Mill Mountain.
In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia.
That's right.
That's the greatest similarity. The land is similar to our land here in Virginia. Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about some of the highlights of the trip. Some of the things we did.
Well, for me, of course, it's always important, I think, to visit with the mayor and the leadership of the city government of Gwangju. Exactly. We also had an opportunity to eat lots of kimchi. Now, kimchi is the red-hot cabbage that they serve for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And and I always like a little hot sauce on my eggs in the morning, so I had a little kimchi with my eggs, and that was always fun. So we had a wonderful group attending with us, so we developed great friendships, I think, with all the delegation, 10 or 12 people that went with us. And we had a chance to enjoy the culture and understand the culture of Korea.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate your time and your energy around this trip, and we had a great time, and we'll look forward to having some of those folks back in Roanoke in the near future.
We hope so, and this was a good visit for Roanokers.
It was indeed. It was indeed. And we'll be right back. Welcome back to BizRoanoke. We are with Dr. Cinda Johnson, founding dean of the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine. Hi, Cinda.
Hi, Lisa.
You were recently on a trip to South Korea with the Roanoke Valley Sister Cities delegation.
We both were.
We both were, yes, we were indeed. Can you talk to us a little bit about this organization and what the fee is for belonging to this organization? Because you are on the board, if I remember correctly.
That's right. So we'll start with fee. It's a measly $15 per city that you choose to belong to, and we have 7 sister cities, and I belong to all of them and have since the day I moved into town. I've always been excited about, well, international medicine and international travel, but this is just a wonderful opportunity that we have in Roanoke. Not that many cities of our size have such a thing. Maybe they might have one sister city, but we have really robust programs in all of these areas, and Wonju was the first.
And so let's talk about Wonju a little bit. What was the purpose of the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine being represented on this trip and in Wonju?
Well, I really wore a couple of hats on this trip. As you said, I am on the Sister Cities board, and I have enjoyed that very much. And this happened to be the 50th anniversary of our association with Wonju as a sister city. We celebrated it here in Roanoke. You recall last year, I think we count differently in terms of when it started, but it worked perfectly because the celebration this year was in Wonju. And so we had that. And it was an opportunity for me to renew our relationship with the medical school, Yonsei University. We have had exchanges now, both directions, medical students from Wonju coming here, and there will be a couple students again. We met them, and then we're going to have 4 students going to Wonju this year. And so we had an opportunity to keep that relationship alive and healthy.
That's great. It was a wonderful wonderful trip, and we did a nice tour of their facilities, which was great. And then you also visited a hospital in Seoul.
We did. It was amazing. It's a complicated relationship, but Yonsei University in Seoul actually has the 2 medical schools, one in Seoul, and we visited that, and the one in Wonju. It's a separate application process, but they're all interrelated. But it's a great organization and a fantastic hospital system. They really have a whole new focus on wellness, and so they showed us a wellness center that's being constructed at this time.
Oh, great. So let's talk about that. So that's one thing that you all were privy to. Are there other things that you learned at those universities that would possibly be a good thing to bring back here?
Well, of course there were, and we cataloged all those, but I want to say that what seemed to resonate with the CEO at the hospital system in Seoul that I was really interested in was our focus on interprofessionalism. Right. I went on that visit with Dr. N.L. Bishop, the president of Jefferson College of Health Sciences, and so together our 2 schools have had, well, from the very beginning, from the first day of class for the medical school, interprofessional teaching, leadership, and other activities, training throughout the years. And when we described that, this was the thing that he was most interested in, that Dr. Kim, his name, wanted to keep coming back to, because this is something that they want to get into but really haven't found their way yet. So that was exciting, because in a place where they seem to have everything, we were glad we had something to contribute as well.
Right. Do you think some of those administrators would come here?
Yes, and in fact one of the reasons that I wanted to make the trip was that we have fairly frequent visitors from the hospital systems and from Yonsei Medical School, and it was time for us to do the visiting.
Very good. So let's talk about the exchange program with Yonsei University Medical School or College of Medicine. We have some students heading this way in January, I believe.
That's right. We had the opportunity to meet them over lunch. I can't wait to introduce the city to them. They will be well received, and I think they will embrace Roanoke as well. They're very friendly, they're very smart, very articulate with good English skills. All of that will make for a great visit.
And we'll look forward to maybe getting them on the show and talking to them when they're here.
That's right. Our students last year, after they returned, we had a big program. We invited sister cities and all of our students who did international rotations from our medical school presented. So that was a highlight, I think, of the Sister Cities activities for last year, too.
Well, thank you. We'll look forward to that, and thank you for joining us today, and we will be right back. Welcome back. We're with Brian Cunahan. Brian is on the faculty at Roanoke's Community School, but also chair of the Wanju Sister City Committee. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Lisa. How
Nice
are
to see you, and thank you so much for being with us
Not at
today.
all.
So, talk to us a little bit about your role as the chair of the Roanoke Valley Sister Cities Wanju Committee, as the chair for that initiative.
Sure. I think a chair's job is mostly to just be the point person between the committee and the city or other organizations. As the chair, we sit on the corporate board of Sister Cities, so we talk to each other that way. Right. Otherwise, we're pretty independent as a committee, and we design whatever programs we want to do.
So each committee for each country does sort of their own.
Very autonomous, and we
Okay.
decide exactly what we want to do. There's a corporate board tries to give us a little bit more cohesiveness,
Right.
and that works in a lot of ways, but it doesn't infringe upon our plans.
Okay. And I know recently you all have many activities that have taken place with the Wanju Committee. And so can you talk to us about some of those activities that you all have been undertaking and what you've done?
Sure. Well, the committee has taken on a lot, and it gets delegated out to professionals in different areas. So we had a recent delegation from the city of Roanoke, which the mayor led,
Right.
and then there was a group also representing Carillion that went on that one. I was fortunate enough to go on a student trip
Yeah,
this
talk to us
summer.
about that.
Oh, it was fantastic. It has something that we haven't really been able to maintain over the last few years, so we're hoping that this will start.
Oh, great.
We sent 7 students to Korea. We spent 2 weeks there visiting cultural sites, eating, and just being treated like royalty.
Right.
And in return, we expect to host about 10 to 12 students from Korea this January coming up.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Now, were you in Wanju specifically on the trip with the students, or did you all go out to different areas in South Korea?
mostly it was Wanju, and
Okay.
we focused on their cultural institutions, but we did get a trip to Seoul. We
right.
got to the DMZ.
Oh, you did.
And that was a moving experience. And we also got all the way over to the East Sea and put our toe in the ocean.
Oh,
And we saw a lot of very important cultural sites. So I'd say we pretty much saw
Sounds like
1/3 of the country.
a great trip, a
Yeah,
really
it
good
was
trip.
fantastic.
And I'm sure the students will love having that to think back on. And then lastly, let's talk about how individuals can learn more about the Roanoke Valley Sister Cities Initiative. If you can talk to
Well,
that.
we have a website. It's the best way to get there. Our website is www.Roanoke Valley Sister City Incorporated, or just the first initials, RVSCI.us. Go there and check out what we're doing. Each city is doing interesting things. We have a need for volunteers. We have a need for people who are just interested in culture or just want to step up and help in other ways. For example, anyone who's interested in having their child go on a trip to Korea, I'd love to hear from them, and we're always interested in as much diversity as possible.
It's a
So
nice opportunity.
just go to our website, and there's a link
And
there.
donations would probably be nice as well.
Sure, donations are always great, but mostly I think we're really interested in showing that we reach out to the community, and when we go abroad, we're representing all of Roanoke, and that's really important to start at this membership level.
Right.
If we represent everyone by having members from all of our community, I feel that we do a better civic duty to represent our city properly and our whole valley, actually.
Well, thank you so much for your time today,
thank you.
and we'll look forward to hearing more.
Thanks.
Thank you, and we'll be right back. If If you have more questions about the Roanoke Sister Cities Initiative, please give me a call, Lisa Soltis. My number is 540-853-1694, or you may reach me by email at lisa.soltis@roanokeva.gov. Thank you.